Level 1, the boy/Djalë. You're 15 years old in northern Albania. You don't choose this life. You're born into it. Your father died in a blood dispute when you were 11. The man responsible is still alive. Your uncle knows his name. The Kanun knows his name. The Kanun is a 500-year-old law that governs everything here: honor, debt, revenge. It doesn't forget. It doesn't forgive. It passes the obligation down to you. Your uncle Ajam runs the clan. The Faisai. You don't join the Faisai the way you join a gang. You're already in it. You were in it before you could walk. He gives you one job. Stand on a corner near the old bazaar. Watch. If you see police, call the number. That's it. No money. No title. Just presence. You stand there 3 days a week for 2 months. You learn the rhythm of the street. Who moves product? Who collects? Who the police wave at because they're already paid. One evening, across a courtyard, your uncle looks at you and nods. That nod is everything. You go home. Your mother has made your favorite meal. She sets it in front of you and asks nothing about where you've been. She lights a candle at church every Sunday. You're 15 years old and you already know that candle is for you. Level 2, the blood brother/Vëlla. You're 19. 4 years of proving one thing, that what enters your ears never leaves your mouth. Your uncle calls you to the house. Senior men of the Faisai are there. Raki on the table. Bread. Your uncle speaks about Besa, the oath. He says, when you give your word on Besa, it is not a promise. It is a piece of yourself. You can lose money, freedom, your life. Break Besa and you lose something that can never come back. He looks at you. You give your word. The men at the table nod. You are Vëlla now. Brother. Blood. Your first job, a business in the city, has been using the Faisai's name without paying for it. You and 2 cousins walk in on a Saturday morning. No raised voices. No threats. Just presence and a number. The owner pays monthly from that day forward. You make €400 a month. You give half to your mother. She takes it without a word, and the next Sunday there are 2 candles at the church instead of 1. You tell yourself the second candle is for your father. You know it isn't. Level 3, the enforcer/Luftëtar. You're 23. You have done things you don't describe out loud. Not because you're ashamed. Because in this world the man who talks about what he's done is the man who gets arrested for it. You're known now. Across northern Albania and into the diaspora networks in Brussels, Milan, London, your name means one thing. The job comes back done. Silent. Final. The Faisai sends you east into the mountains. The man whose name everyone has known for 12 years. The man who was present when your father's dispute ended the way it ended. Under the Kanun, presence carries weight. You drive with your cousin Dryden. 2 hours through the mountains. You do what the law requires. You drive back. Dryden says nothing the whole way. Neither do you. This wasn't anger. This wasn't revenge. This was 500 years of law, executing itself through your hands. You sit in the car outside your house for a long time before you go in. Not guilt. Wait. There's a difference. Tomorrow the Faisai calls again. You answer. You always answer. Level 4, the Trafficker/Trafikant. You're 27. You've left Shkodër. The Faisai is expanding and you are the man they trust to move with it. Vëlla. The port on Albania's Adriatic coast. In the 90s this coastline ran thousands of migrants across 72 kilometers of dark water to Italy. The Faisai learned those routes. The contacts. The precise cost of a Coast Guard officer's blindness. Now the boats carry something worth more per kilogram than anything that came before. Cocaine moves north from South America through West Africa into Albanian ports. Your job is logistics. You coordinate the sea route into Italy, the overland corridor through Kosovo into the EU, and a freight air route that is the cleanest operation you've ever built. You manage 12 men. You report to a man named Marco who has never been correctly photographed by Italian intelligence despite 4 years of trying. You make €15,000 a month. Your apartment looks like it belongs to a mid-level businessman, because that is exactly what you appear to be. You call your mother on Sundays. She asks how work is. Fine, you tell her. She says she lit candles. You tell her she doesn't need to. She says, I know. I do it anyway. Level 5, the network head/KRU Irjedit. You're 33. You live in Brussels. Clean documents. A registered company. A flat in a good neighborhood. You run the FISI's Western European operations. 200 kilograms of cocaine a week moving through the Netherlands, Belgium, the UK, Germany. A chain of restaurants laundering the money across 4 cities. An accountant in Luxembourg paid extremely well to be extremely incurious. But the work has changed you. In Shkodër the rules were ancient and clear. Here you eat dinner with people who work for the European Commission. You have opinions about wine. You attend gallery openings. The men you came from would not recognize the surface of your life. But the surface is not the life. At 2 in the morning on a Tuesday a message arrives. A shipment seized at Rotterdam. €3 million gone. A customs officer who was managed was apparently manageable by someone else as well. You sit in the dark and work the phone for 3 hours. At 5 in the morning the problem is contained. You make coffee. Your girlfriend sleeps in the next room. She teaches at a university. She believes you are an import-export. You stand at the window and watch Brussels going grey at its edges. You are a long way from Shkodër. Shkodër is not a long way from you. Level 6, the Alliance Broker/Alianka. You're 39. You are the reason the meeting exists. A Colombian supplier. A Central Asian heroin route manager. A Dutch logistics operator with a clean passport and a company that moves freight across 12 countries. None of these men speak the same language. None of them trust each other. You are the translator, not of words, of logic. You know what a Colombian trafficker values. You know what an Albanian will never compromise on. You know what makes a Dutch operator nervous. You find the overlap. You build the deal. You take a percentage of everything. You are making millions. The number has become abstract in the way numbers do when they exceed what you can spend. But you know what this position costs. You know everything. That makes you valuable. It also makes you dangerous. The moment any one of your partners calculates that your silence is worth less than your removal, you become a problem to be solved. You have 3 passports. Money in 4 jurisdictions. An exit plan 2 years in the making. You also know that every man who built an exit plan and kept working 1 more year stayed too long. You keep working. The work is the only thing that has ever made complete sense to you. That is the problem. That is always the problem. Level 7, the clan chief/Kryetar. Your uncle Ajim died last year. Not violently. His heart. In a private clinic in Tirana at 3 in the morning with your hand on his arm. He looked at you before he lost consciousness. He said nothing. He didn't have to. You are the Kryetar now. Chief of the FISI. 46 years old. You run an organization operating across 4 continents, controlling a quarter of Europe's cocaine supply chain. Europol calls it the most significant emerging criminal enterprise on the continent. It runs through you. In your first month you end an 8-month dispute between two FISI branches in Kosovo. You fly to Pristina. You sit in the room. You invoke the Kanun. You draw the line. It holds because your word is Besa and Besa is the only law in that room. You also deal with a problem inside the FISI. A nephew has been talking to a journalist about the FISI's connections to a government official who has been on the payroll for 10 years. The problem is resolved. You don't sleep well for 3 weeks. Not because of guilt. Because he was 28 years old and you chose the fastest solution. Fast is not always right. This is the weight of being Kryetar. Not the easy decisions. The ones that aren't, and that you make anyway because the FISI is the only real thing left in your life. Your mother calls on Sunday. She says she is lighting candles. You tell her you love her. She says she knows. She hangs up. The mountains of Shkodër are 1,000 miles away. They are directly behind you. Level 8, the end/Fundi. It happens on a Thursday afternoon. A parking garage in Brussels. 12 floors underground. 2 men. Professional. Patient. They have been watching for 3 days. You see them a half second before it happens. Just enough time to understand. Not enough to move. The Kanun is satisfied. The blood debt answered. 500 years of law, closing the circle. 3 days later in a village outside Shkodër your mother walks into the church. She lights a larger candle than usual. She holds it for a long time before she sets it down. She has been lighting candles for you since you were 15. She lit them when she didn't know if you were alive. She lit them when she knew exactly what you were doing and prayed for you anyway. She sets it down. She walks out into the mountain air. The FISI continues. Your cousin Dryden takes the chair. The man who said nothing the whole drive back from the mountains 23 years ago. He was always ready. In a FISI the blood always knows. On a corner near the old bazaar in Shkodër a boy of 15 stands watching the street. Learning which men have money. Learning the geometry of belonging. He doesn't know yet what belonging costs. He will. They always do. This is the Albanian Mafia. 500 years of law running underneath everything. You were in it for 34 years. It never knew you were gone.